This is the Ashy Slashy, the Hail to the King of Evil Dead. Before I finally got NECA Ultimate Jason Voorhees Part 3 and NECA Ultimate Ash Williams Part 1. These are the prequel of the stop motion. After I finally finishing about making the stop motion video before, that I actually brought up with the motor figures, which is Ash vs. Evil Dead, Ash Williams, and Freddy vs. Jason, Jason Voorhees. You know, I do like about the modern characters with a crossover because I still like the crossover horror movies. These are my favorite movies the whole time that I watch it with the Freddy vs. Jason because I like the Freddy vs. Jason with the outfit look like because it appears that in the comics that it was so much very creepy, monster, scary, and most gruesome deaths that he kills. And it's really awesome that Jason just brutally kill all the teenagers for no reason at all. Cause you know he was my favorite because I like the Friday the 13th. Also I like it with the third film of Friday the 13th Part 3 where with the hockey mask. So as with the part 4, the final chapter, and including the undead who got resurrected, the part 6 and part 7. Except with the part 9 and 8 because I don't think that actually I don't like it with the part 8 and 9 because the actually stripes and the chevrons I look like could be the same from the Friday the 13th part 7 and part 6. But I still like it with all the parts of Jason Voorhees, the human and undead, except with the Freddy vs. Jason because I like the Freddy vs. Jason because these are the crossovers outfits. And for Ash Williams, of course, that he was actually one of my favorite of the protagonist horror movies all the time. But Ash is from the Evil Dead in Evil Dead 2. Forget about the Army of Darkness because it was a non-horror movie, but it was just only an action movie of Army of Darkness with Ash Williams that he's an action hero. But the fans thinks about that it wasn't exactly was a horror movie. You know, the horror movie actually is meant to be the Evil Dead Part 1 and Part 2, Dead by Dawn, from the trilogy of Ash vs. Evil Dead. They ignored about the Army of Darkness because this is not exactly about the making of violence of Army of Darkness. It's just actually action movie. It's just only about the fantasy, a story, and how the Ash want to get back home. There's no blood, but there have actually continuity. And they have no nudes, but it's actually could be the rated R, but there's no rated R. It's calling for PG-13 for Army of Darkness. For the rated R, for the gore's violence and sexual content and nudity, for the Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, because Evil Dead 1 and 2 are most goriest that it was better than of an Army of Darkness. But even though the Army of Darkness does have Warren with Ash Williams with a chainsaw hand, the same for the Evil Dead 2 and the Army of Darkness, because the chainsaws is actually used for a hand included with the boomstick, who fight it against the Henrietta and fights it against the Deadite Pit at the scenes. Except for the Part 1 Ash, because Ash did not cut his ex-girlfriend Linda caught on the part while she was possessed by the Condying Dead before it's too late because the Deadite Cheryl stabbed Linda on her ankle and knocked her out, and Ash put her in the bed, and just because she was almost too late that she got turned herself into a Deadite by the Condying Demon possessing her because the Deadites are tormenting on Ash Williams that he was only the one who managed to escape from the cabin in the woods. But Ash is only the one who survived because he's unpossessed by the sun because Condying Demon failed to possess Ash, but his soul is safe. So Ash Williams also that he was only managed to escape from the cabin, but he tries it and finding a way out, but he was being stay inside of the cabin forever. There's no one else is going to find a way to escape, but his hand cut it off with the chainsaw because decapitation of the Linda's head was bitten because he turned his hand into possessed deadite and tried to kill him or strangle him. So he used his chainsaw to cut off his wrist. However, I like with the first film and the second film because it could be the triology for Ash vs. Evil Dead. Now the fun that these are the two movies, but the two movies is for The Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn. But Ash vs. Evil Dead was included with the gory violence, and there's a lot of backstories of Ash Williams, where did it begin, where are the flashbacks going, and he knows to tell Pablo about the backstories of his past, because the evil who actually tracked him down, so he returned back as a role as Ash Williams, the old guy, El Jefe, the main protagonist from the season 1, season 2, and season 3, but they rejected from the season 4 because it's cancelled because of mostly the cancellation of the Ash vs. Evil Dead. They brought it with the Brandy Barr as the daughter of Ash Williams, played as the actress name is Ariel. I like it with the Ash's daughter a lot because he had a daughter, but she had it with the father. She was being nice to him, and she got brainwashed by Ruby because she was the main villain from the season 2 and season 3. Maybe the season 1 was actually Kurt Brown, play as that Lucy Lois, and she was an anti-hero when she's wearing the pink hair, and she's a villain now again, that she killed her future self. So in season 3, she died by the Dark Ones, that her past self was turning into dust. Well, however, I have to need to change the timeline, but not actually from the movie, not actually from the animation. I never do that for the source filmmaker because it's not coming yet with the Nakafig coming yet with the Evil Dead the game model of the Part 1 Ash, the Evil Dead Ash, or Support Ash. However, I still actually use it with the NECA Ultimate figure with the timeline comes with the different two of them, which is Jason Voorhees from the third film and the first film of Ash Williams. A sole survivor was actually meant to fight against Jason Voorhees, that he killed 4 of his friends and his sister. So Ash needs to fight back the killer who tried to murder him, but he needed to kill him and hitting him with the lumberjack axe on his mask through the head, and then shot him in front of the eye and chainsaw on his guts. Most of all, there have no ending for the Ash versus Jason Voorhees. Because it's already I made it with the ending credits for. Not the fun ending credits that I actually made. Sorry, I actually made with the chosen endings with unlisted videos. However, I don't ever make with the video a lot, so I actually brought with these 2 figures are. The first one is Part 3 Jason, and the first one is the Part 1 Ash. Those are the figures that I recently used because all I wanted to do is to make it a timeline, and I make it with the audio again, and I'm going to make it with the soundtracks with classics, not just from the Evil Dead the game, not Ash vs. Evil Dead, not from the Army of Darkness, and then I'm not going to use it with the Evil Friday the 13th the game. Maybe including with Friday the 13th Part 3, Part 2, and Part 4, which is okay with me, and I'm still using with the Evil Dead, and I reimagine Nightmare, and Dead by Dawn. So okay, this is it. and I will be making it soon. So this is the Ashley slashing the hell to the King of Evil Dead. Stay groovy and peace out.